is being streamed. So since this is my live stream, I'm going to say hello and pass it on to you, Sam.
Okay.
So it's still saying done. It's there. Yeah, it is live. Okay. Awesome. Awesome. All my comments where I was saying this is coming is also there. Okay. 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 It's showing dark. It's not showing my video for some reason. Hello, people. I'm here. I'm just behind the recording. So hopefully you're able to see me. Okay. Can somebody comment on LinkedIn? So hello, I'm Sudha Jamte. And here we are for the NoCode LiveLab NLP pre-class. That's a mouthful. I need to learn to do better titles in future. Thank you everybody for joining. I can't see who you are. I just see numbers go up. And this is also being streamed onto LinkedIn. I'm seeing people here on LinkedIn. It's also streamed on Twitter and onto YouTube. So I don't know where you're joining me. So I need you to chat away and tell us if you're seeing us, if you're seeing me, and then, you know, hopefully we will get this handed over to the amazing Samantha. So Sam, do you want to take away and tell people what this is, and I can stop talking?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, thank you, Sudha. Good evening or good morning if you're joining. So good noon time where you are if you're joining in the US. Today's session is really to get you into the mood for the NLP program, which is starting on Thursday. So there's an introduction to NLP LiveLab coming up. And we're going to be focusing on no code. So those that are not programmers by qualification and by background can come and join this program. So yeah, we're going to look at how to build a very kind of simple model using IBM Watson. And we're going to have a look at a chatbot that I've worked quite a lot with in the past and how to set one up. Okay. And then we'll look at other resources that you can refer to as well as part of this project, this particular program. There will be some pre-learning, so this is part of that. And then when you sign up for the program, there'll be other resources that you can tap into if you want to. Okay, so that's the main objective.
So Sam, Sam, there are people who've been talking to me who are interested in the LiveLab NLP course. Mm-hmm. And I've been saying no code for everything. So we also have a NoCode AI data science course. So even if people are not actually going to sign up for anything, they can learn something about NLP and the whole NoCode IBM Watson platform that you're going to show us, right?
That's it. Yeah, we're going to look under the hood and see how we set up a dialogue flow and what we mean by those key terms that we looked at in the initial weekly Wednesday. So what is an intent? What is an entity? What do we mean by algorithm training? And actually see it happen in step by step. Okay, so let's start having. Oh, sorry.
I've done this course with you. I feel so excited. So thank you. And then you're also open to answer questions for people, because there's some people who are here who want to take the LiveLab NLP course that you're offering starting Thursday, but they want to know how much time commitment and all that. So you're also open to answer that question after this, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we have a really rigorous kind of clear curriculum for it, and what time commitments are needed, and what's compulsory, what's not. Yeah, definitely.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you. Take it away. Bye.
Thank you. So yeah, welcome to the course and to this pre-learning, I called it, because it's really about knowing how to set up a really kind of simple structure when it comes to a chatbot. We're going to use IBM and we're going to look at Watson and the tools available on that platform. What I need you to think about doing before you start the course, though, is getting what is the prerequisites in place, which is the cloud account. And I'm going to show you that now. The cloud account is, the link is just on the screen now, so you should be able to see that. And it's actually a free trial. So you can use some of the facilities and functionalities of the cloud platform at IBM and go and try out the different NLP tools within it. There's some really excellent options, and one of them is what we're going to be looking at today. So if you go to now, https://cloud.ibm.com, and then go to login if you've already got an account. If you haven't, you can create an account there. So you must first of all do that, okay? When you've gone to that website, it will ask you to set up your profile. You will not need to enter any details. Again, it doesn't require a debit card or credit card at all. It just needs you to have a secure email address that you can then go to and confirm your account. You're going to, first of all, when you go to that website I've just shown you, log in once you're set up, and we're going to navigate that website, because it's a huge platform. You know, it's not just chatbots and not just NLP tools. There's various different areas that you can focus on. So log into your IBM cloud. Okay, you need to go to the IBM ID. So your IBM ID is your unique login. Okay, and you need to make sure you set up your account there. So I'm going to just leave that there for a moment. And if you want to navigate to that now, please do, and have a look around, log in or create a new account. Okay, I would take a picture of that, and if you want me to send it, I can send it in chat. But it's simply cloud.ibm.com/login. Right, okay, so number 2. When you actually go into your login and you see what the cloud account looks like, you see a dashboard view. So you have a left bar of navigation, and then you see all the tools that are available to you as a developer, as a no-code AI specialist. There's lots of available tools, and it's a dashboard. So you look at a dashboard first, okay? So please go to the website, make sure you can see the dashboard, and I will show you that in a moment. And the third thing, okay, you need to make sure you do that, you launch the cloud trial, and that you have access to that. So that's that. So set up and launch the IBM cloud trial, okay. When you've gotten to the platform itself, which I'm going to show you now, okay, you need to make sure that you select the correct application, the NLP application. And what we're going to use is what is called the light plan. And the light plan is slightly different to the 7H, Watson Assistant. The Watson Assistant WB model version is actually one that I used to test and train my NLP tools. Okay, don't choose this 7H plan for now. Just have a look at the light plan. Okay, so it's called Watson Assistant WB. Okay, so I want you to go to that now. I'm going to show you where that is located. Okay, so just bear with me while I share my screen. You should see it on my screen in a moment. I'm just going to go to my browser. And you can see here, okay, you have the platform. Okay, this is my dashboard. So I've logged in. I'm just going to make sure as well, because I'm based in the UK, in Oxford, that I'm in the right area. So I'm going to go to my country region. Okay, make sure that it's based in the UK. And I'm just going to log in now. So just bear with me while I log in with my email address and my password. You can really simply reset it as well. It's really good at resetting. It just sends you a code to your email inbox. Okay, so here we go. I'm going in now for the first time, and we're going to navigate the IBM Cloud and Watson. Okay, so let's get started. Right then, so here we go. It's loading now the products that I've selected. Okay, so you have things like Xforce Exchange, which is a subscription service. It's a product. You have your billing profile, and you have your IBM ID in the top right. What you need to do to go to the chatbot functionality is go down to the cloud, and you need to select the IBM Cloud and launch that, and it's a trial. Okay, so within my IBM and products, you should be able to view the catalog and see what is defined as the IBM Cloud and activate that. Okay, this is going to take, I would say, a good 15 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes to do, and it's not something we're going to all be able to do right now and then complete all tasks. I'd like you to go away and just have a look at that later on. Okay, so make sure you set up IBM Cloud. I'm just going to launch my cloud platform now, which is a separate module, and then you have the link here. Okay, cloud.ibm.com. Okay, so there we are. We have now entered that area, and where we can then locate Watson in the chatbot NLP tool. It's just taking a couple of seconds more to load, so just bear with me. There we go. Okay, so you have all the resources available to you. I've got 8 resources running on this platform. Okay, I'm going to click on my resources. Okay, you can see here And you also have training and also tools that you can use to become a proficient user of NLP. So there's lots of resources in here. I'm going to click on service and software. And you can see already on the left bar here, there's actually a template of different resources. You have the resource list. You have Watson as a separate platform. You have the infrastructure tab, the cloud foundry, code engine, functions, and also you have Kubernetes here. And also then you have, I think these are, let's have a quick look. These have not been labeled actually, security and compliance, and then VM, okay, VMware. So you've got all of these different tools within cloud, which you see a lot in other platforms. I want you to go down to services and software, because we're talking about a service here, and I want you to go to Watson, and I want you to go to the WB one, and it's active now. So I'm going to click on my Watson Assistant, and I'm going to start using that, okay? So just click on Watson Assistant, and we'll go there now, okay? So that's the first thing you need to do. Let me just go back to my slides once we've launched that, okay? We can see that you have the light plan, you have your credentials, you have your API key, okay, which you can download and show if you need it, and you have the URL. And then on the left side, you have a plan, and then you have service credentials and manage. So what we need to do now is get started with the launch. So I need you to go to Launch Watson Assistant, launch the tool. Again, what you'll find often is there's separate tabs open when you go through each of these stages, okay? Okay, let's just have a look at this now. So where are we at now? So what we've done is we've logged into IBM, we've got our cloud account set up, we've actually selected the Watson product, okay, from the platform, and we are there now. We're in the Watson WB tools, okay, the light model, the light NLP tool, and we can create an assistant from here. Okay, so let me just go back to what we want to do next. Okay, what's the next step before we move on? Let me just stop my sharing. Okay, now we've selected Watson, and we are ready to go. We launched the assistant, okay, which is where we're at, and then we're going to start building the chatbot. Okay, the thing you can do, which is really clever, and I've seen this a lot in other applications, NLP applications, is that you can actually link the integration to live agents, and I know a lot of companies use live agents. Okay, so Zendesk is one, and Salesforce is supported here, so you can use either of those, and you can actually transfer your customer to a live agent using this once you've built your chatbot. Okay, once you've built that tool. So that's something you can explore later on. It's just a side note. But what do we mean really by a service desk? Okay, what do we mean by Zendesk? We know some of us will already have learned of it before in the company we work with, and we know Salesforce well. But what does it actually do? So a live agent connects your assistant so that you're able to transfer customers in any sector to an ERP or a CRM system. Okay. It gives you that ability to transfer to a team within your company and set up that team as a live agent group within that workflow. It's another step in the workflow, okay? And you can explore this. We're going to explore this in the course, and we're going to look at alternatives and how it benefits companies and how a live agent can work. Okay, we're going to certainly explore that. Now, the next thing then is to create your assistant. So we're going to do that. Step 6. You're going to give your assistant a title. You're going to give it a background description. Again, all of this is just adding context to the NLP application. When we've created it and we've given it those details, we're going to start adding in the dialogue and the skill sets. So those skills or dialogues that we need to build this NLP tool, we're going to do that now. Okay, so let's get started on that. Now, what I did was, because I built a couple of other models I'm working on at the minute with my edtech company, with my colleague Adewale, we're building a questioning model. Okay, so what I decided was, instead of using my, going from scratch and building a new model, I wanted to copy over the model that I used for Socratic questioning and use that as in my dialogue. Why did I do that? Well, because the structure's already in place. The flow, the structure, the workflow is already there. Okay, the dialogue's already there. I just need to replace parts of it. Okay, so I'm going to go now and show you what I've done. Okay, so I've copied over the dialogue from my previous chatbot, the existing skill set, which has all of my intents, any entities I've defined, any utterances, and also shows you the analytics as well. from my previous chatbot. I can remove those if I want to, but it gives you a good idea, a good feel for what it can do, okay? Just easier. Right, so let's do that now, shall we? Let's go into my IBM Watson account. We're gonna go back to my browser, and here we are. You can see I've actually labeled this assistant customer care, because we're focusing a lot of the time on delivering service and benefits to our customers to increase both customer retention and profitability in our organizations, and cut down on the cost and time spent dealing with queries and issues around customer service and customer support. This is why we're doing this. And one of the things we're going to talk quite heavily about in the NoCode NLP course, okay? Why do we need these tools? What do we use them for? Why do businesses need them? Instead of clicking on Create Assistant, oh, sorry, yeah.
Sam, sorry to interrupt. Mamta has a question. I think she has some difficulty with the setup. She's saying the resolution of dashboard is not clear. Is it only for me? Or the What's One dashboard screen is blurry?
Okay, oh, that's interesting. Let's have a look. I'll go to my dashboard. Just bear with me a second.
Actually, even I'm seeing it blurred. I just thought because you are using Prezi to project that, maybe it was doing that.
It could be that. It could be that. It might be that because I'm using Prezi that it's slightly blurred. Okay, let me just double check. Okay. It should, for me, I can, yes. So using Prezi, you can't always see the clear. Yeah, it looks like my first assistant's actually not crystal clear. Okay, so, okay, let me see. What can I do then? I could maybe share.
Can you make the screen bigger? Can you make the screen bigger? Like we do in Zoom, the user.
Yeah, I'll try. Let me see. Ah, there we go. Perfect. Yes. Brilliant. Done. Hopefully that's better now.
Thank you. And Mamta is saying we are still able to follow along. So thank you.
Brilliant. Okay. Well done, Mamta. Thank you, Mamta. Okay. So that is now an expanded view. Thank you for that. And then you can go into where we were, which was the assistance tools. So the assistant will help your customers complete tasks and get information faster. It helps clarify requests. It helps search for answers and to questions, and builds that knowledge base, and can direct your customer to a human if needed, which is what we were talking about earlier. Zendesk and Salesforce can be connected, and others as well, like other products. Okay, there's many other tools. So you have My First Assistant, which is one that is already built for you. So you don't even have to go and create it. You can go in and try your first assistant already. Can you see as well on the right-hand side that you have an integration? I've integrated successfully my chatbots to Slack, and I've also managed to integrate them onto a web chatbot. Okay, so a website. So you can, once you finish, you can actually start integrating them. And this is really powerful stuff. I can share my completed chatbot tool with within my own Slack channel. Okay, so it could be you have a private Slack channel, or maybe an organization Slack channel that you want to develop a chatbot for. It is absolutely wonderful for that. Okay, it's really, really good. And the training behind it, and the back end, the algorithm training, and that takes place in the machine learning, within the machine learning under the hood, is very, very efficient. Okay, so I'll talk to you about that now. So let's go to my customer care app. Okay, what I did was I copied my Socratic questioning app over to here. Okay, and I'm just going to show you here. You've got rename, settings, delete, and copy. And I'm just going to click on that now, my new assistant. Okay, I called it customer care, customer support chatbot for servicing of cars, because this is one of the things that's quite common. I think this comes up quite a lot. It's an everyday use case. And what I've done is I've actually gone, when I clicked on that and I created that assistant, as I said, I copied over my skills from my previous chatbot. Okay, so I've added a skill from my previous assistant. Okay, you can see here that this particular set of skills is linked to my first assistant and my Socratic questioning. Okay, so let's go in now to the dialogue and let's get started with building. Okay, this is where you start building your skills, your intents, and your entities. Okay, so I'm going to click on that now. And voila, there we go. And you're probably wondering, okay, well, this doesn't look anything like what, you know, what I expect. It's a list of intents. You have different scenarios. On the left side, you have a list of different tools. Let's go through them step by step. Okay, so let me just go back to my slides. We'll come back to this in a moment. Okay, and then just stop sharing for a moment. Okay, so what we have here is a list of intents, and you can use intents that are already pre-built. Okay, let's go to step 9 now. Okay, so I copied over my model. Okay, my skill set was called skills, and I labeled my chatbot. Okay, my application. And now what I'm going to do for the next step is choose the intents from the pre-built list of intents, of a bank of intents. And I'll show you that now. And I'm going to add my own. So the first thing you need to do is go to the intents, and from the pre-built list, just select one that you think would work really well. And I'm going to use customer care appointments here, because I'm going to book in a car for service. That's it. I'm just going to do that. And that works really effectively. And you can add a live agent to that as well. Okay, so we're going to do customer care appointments, and I'm going to add my own my own utterances. We talked about utterances and the concept of utterances, and that NLP applications and algorithms will train the platform on new phrases that are not well known, are not banked within the knowledge base. Okay, they're not being trained previously. There's a variety of ambiguities and misunderstandings in language, and often that's where this tool becomes really powerful. It does actually pick out those ambiguities and trains the application instantly. Okay, so let's go now to intents, and let's go to the customer care appointments. Okay, so let me just go and share my screen, go to the large screen, and we'll see where we get to in this next bit. Okay, so there you go. Here we go. So you should see now all my intents. We've got 54, I believe. All are actually sortable. You can download them and edit them in Excel and then upload them. You can create your own intents. Remember what we meant though by intents. Intents are what the customer, the client, is communicating with you, what their intentions are in the way that they communicate within the language platform, within the NLP platform. You have all of the bank of intents from my previous chatbots. You also have the option here of importing translated intents from multiple languages. There is no limit. Okay, I'm going to use a different language today, but you can add all of these intents in here. Okay, I'm going to go to the one that I just mentioned, which is customer service, customer care for your car servicing, and you can see here. I've actually opened up customer care appointments and I've adapted it. So I went into these intents, okay. I've given it a description. What does it do? What does this intent actually do with this bank of intents? It schedules and manages in-store appointments. That's what it does, okay. And here you can see, brilliantly, we have a series of linguistic parameters. So utterances or statements that we're going to use in our NLP application that have already been built in. Now, I know that some of these are not valid. They need adapting. So you can simply add your own. So we have, I want to change my visit. What time can I get someone to speak to me? When can I meet one of your employees at the store? And you have, for example, this is my email address. This is the date and time I want to come in. Can I make an appointment? Is it possible to set a date? Okay, so these are all what we would expect a customer to ask. We need to really know and have this knowledge base available to us to import it before we start. Okay, so here I've actually defined what I want the customer, what I'm hoping the customer says. Okay, so we could say, for example, on the 23rd of October, I've just used a model. I want to book my my car for a service. Okay, fine. When you've done that, you can then add that as an example. Now the NLP platform will then begin to train on those statements. Okay, on those examples intents. You can add as many as you want. Okay, you can maybe add hi, hello. Again, as utterances, they don't just have to be intents or full sentences. You can add single words, nouns, and greetings and leave takings. I have some in here. Okay, I'm going to go back now and I'm going to take you to the next step. We've got our intent. We know which intents we're going to use. Let me take you to the next bit. Exciting entities. Okay, so within this particular platform on the left bar, you can navigate to my entities. What is an entity? Well, we've talked about that before, okay? They are keywords nouns, specific nouns or keywords within language that are built to define a particular task that a customer might ask you about, okay? A business term, okay, that your assistant can provide targeted responses to queries on, okay? You can enable the pre-built entities if you want to, which can capture dates, times, and numbers, or you can actually bring in a model, the model entities, okay? So these are nouns and keywords. Intents are slightly different in that they tend to be fuller sentences and have more key information, okay? You have system entities, okay? But what is a system entity? A system entity is usually an exact number, a digit, so numerals, particular signs within mathematics. So you have the percentage sign, for example, here, currency values, dates, and time stamps. These are system entities. They're very different to intents. Okay, so please have a look at that before you get started. Okay, another thing to know is what we mean by webhooks, disambiguation, autocorrection, and irrelevance detection. Because you know yourself as a user, you might type in something incorrect, or you might have you might spell something incorrectly. We often, have those moments when we're typing away without spell or grammar check. It happens, okay, and they won't always pick up those slight changes. It's very clever at doing it, but it doesn't always do it. So let me just show you a little bit more on that. Okay, I'm going to just stop sharing, and I'm going to go back to my theory. If I go to the next bit, which is number 10, okay. Oh, there we go. You can test out your chat dialog box when you're ready. So you can test out the dialog flow on the right-hand side to just see how the intents work. Okay, so I'm just gonna show you that really quickly. Now that we have the intents built in, we're gonna just type in some key intents and see what happens. So here we go. Let's test out the chatbot that we've created that's embedded. It's very clever, and it's up here. It's up here on the right-hand side. Okay, so I'm just going to type in, for example, hi. Let's see what happens. Great. Now, what it's done. Now, this chatbot on the side is your model. This is constantly training. I mean, could we suggest something else? What else could we say here? How are you? Okay. Has it trained on that? Let's see. Has an intent been trained on that? Has it been trained on that intent? It has, but it needs to be added to the dialog flow. So that's something we need to add into the dialog flow. It's not there yet. You can tell it's not there yet because it hasn't responded, and it hasn't given you a logical response in that flow. What it has done is it's detected that the question is a general greeting, and that is what we call an entity. Okay, so you can enter the intent name or the entity here, and you have what it does is it builds and trains the entities and the intents based on what you say. So it could be that if I just do that one more time, okay, I'm going to put in how are you one more time. Let's see what comes up. You can see that we have general greetings. If I just put in general greetings underscore, always use underscore. Okay, general greetings. You can see it's popped up here. Okay, there you go. And you can see here as well, you have a little icon at the top that's saying, okay, I've recognized this intent now, and I'm going to train the application on this. And then we'll start training. This is where again, machine learning and the machine learning tool, the technology and the machine learning becomes into its own, and that will sit there and train. Okay, so that's it. Okay, so let's move on to the next bit. You ready? We're going to go to dialogue. This is the key thing. What do we mean by dialogue? We have a set of nodes. Okay, they're nodules. You have child nodes and you have primary nodes, okay, and you have folders as well, which refer to particular documents, particular data within the dialogue. Okay, what I've done, I'm just going to close down my chatbot for now, is giving you an example of the type of nodes I would add to a customer care chatbot for this particular sector. Okay, so what I'm doing is I've added a node, and you can see it pops up. Okay, so this is the first one. It's called an introductory greeting, and there's various conditions. So the first condition is, okay, when you start having a dialogue with a chatbot, it's normally either yourself or the chatbot that starts. So the chatbot will respond to you when you input a greeting. Okay, it will, if the assistant recognizes any of those intents,
Hey, Sam,
Okay.
the screen has become blurry again. It's
Has
full
it?
screen,
Okay.
but it's become blurry.
Right, okay. Oh, I'm sorry about that. Let's have a look. Oh, right. Well, I can see, okay. It looks clear to me, but it might be that I need to reload it. Let me just try and reload it.
Should I just make you a host? You can share on Zoom directly.
Yeah, you could do that. Absolutely. Yeah.
Right?
Should we do that? Okay, let's do
Yeah.
that. Okay, brilliant. Okay, perfect.
Thank you for letting us know.
Thank you, guys. Yeah, it's important. We need to make sure we can have that clarity. Right, I'm going to go into Zoom then. Let me just stop sharing and I'm going to share on Zoom. Okay, so just bear with me.
I made you co-host.
Great, thank you. Okay, so I'm going to go in now to my my browser, and you can see hopefully then it's a little bit clearer. Brilliant, there we go. Okay, perfect. So
this is so much better.
Okay, thank you.
And your screen, your picture is showing something else. It's showing your Prezi video as your profile picture.
Yeah, I'm going to move it to me. There we go. Hi. So you should see me there, and you'll see Zoom. Brilliant. Okay. Perfect.
Thank you. Thank you.
So you have here. I'm just going to move my my Zoom images away because it takes up some space. You have the dialogue. So you have the entities, you have the dialogue, and then within the dialogue, you have the greetings. Now, this is where the logic comes in and where the NLP tools really become powerful. You have the introductory greeting. If Watson recognizes a customer care appointment, intent, okay, then the assistant responds, but only if. That condition needs to be met first. You need to make sure that you are searching for the correct intents here. Okay, so you can search for as many as you like. There are a lot of them. Okay, you could go to, for example, COVID case count, cleaning, number of cleaning, disinfecting sites. If you're looking at a COVID chatbot, okay, there are government emergency COVID intents. We have paid leave questions about paid leave, etc. So these are all there, pre-populated. Grocery shopping, about whether stores are open or not for groceries. So you just need to make sure you find yours that you've defined. So customer service, customer care, and then appointments, car. There we go. So that's your first step, okay? When you've done that, you go to assistant response, and you've got these options of either a text response, an image, which is always fun. You can actually respond with images now. It's really great. And you could actually connect to a human agent, okay? So these things you should really start to explore. I've just texted a response to say, hi, how are you? And then what I've done is I've translated it. Okay, I've added another language because I know a couple of languages, and I thought, well, maybe we could try it out in Spanish. So I've put, okay, how can I help you? And I've put, hola, ¿en qué te puede ayudar? Okay, so how can I help you in Spanish? I'm going to use that as a response because I think it's quite helpful to have another language in there and for it to train on that. So that's it. That's the first step. Okay. I'm not sure. Sorry, one second. I'm not sure why that's. There we go. Okay, great. And then if those conditions are met, I'm going to add another node. And it's called customer care support. I'm going to label it customer care support. Okay. And then I'm going to define those parameters. If the assistant recognizes any of those utterances that we've defined in those intents, it's going to respond with, okay, so what time of day do you want to book in your car? Because I've asked a chatbot, can I book my car in for a service? So they're ready for that question, right? And the key thing is the date. So we need to get the date. Okay, so I've translated that. I put the translations in, and then I'm going to add another nodule, another node called booking in for a service. Okay, so you've got introductory greeting, customer care support, booking in for a service. And then we're going to just make sure again that we're connecting up to those intents, that we have a response from the automated chatbot. And you have these options here. You could have a sequential response, you could have a random response, or a multi-line response. Again, really helpful for those that are using multiple languages. It's great for accessibility. Different font sizes and things like that can be adapted. Okay, here in this particular part, for the assistant to be useful for many users. Now we've got all of our nodes established. We've got a couple more at the end there where I get transferred to an external agent. Okay, so I put those in. But before we go to those, one thing you need to do, which is really key, is at the bottom of each node, you need to put in another condition. So if this particular intent is detected, then respond with this question. If you've responded with that question, you have to then make a decision. So the chatbot will then either wait for your reply as a customer, as a user, or it will jump to the next stage. Okay. The alternative as well, there's 3 options. You can actually do it automatically. So if a customer doesn't respond and you're waiting for that response and there's a bit of a lag, it might be that they're busy, you know, taking their dog out for a walk or give something to eat. You know, it's really good service. So you actually could prompt them here, and you could say, well, I'm going to help you anyway. This is the next question I would ask. Okay, so you could either wait for a customer reply, jump to the next node, or automatically go to the next stage. So I'm just going to go to jump to, because I'm eager to know, you know, what my customer is interested in. I'm going to say jump to customer care support. You need to define what it's jumping to. Yeah. And we're going to make sure we do that for each of those stages. Okay. Each one needs to be connected. So what we have is so far a greeting, customer care question, which is when would you like to book in? You're responding with the date and time, okay, as a customer, and then the chatbot saying to you, okay, well, do you have an email address? Can you give me your email address so that we can send over a confirmation? Okay. The customer will then give the email address, and then you can jump to the final stage, and you can say, okay, great, thanks. You'll receive an automated confirmation and calendar booking shortly. Okay. Now, this is where integrations come in, and I'm going to just briefly talk to you about that before we finish, before we end with Q&A. You can set up a chatbot in order for it, an integration for it to actually send calendar invites or set up bookings. It's quite simple to do. There's a lot of available integrations, and that's something you can do here. And it's worth exploring, okay, and adding in. Okay, great. So that's it. We're done with our main model. And then finally, you need to wrap up that you have to have a concluding node with a response, which is there anything else? Okay. Is there anything else I can help you with? And at that point, you wait for a reply. And that is the final stage of the wrap up. We call the wrap up. Okay. And then you go, no, don't need any more help. Okay, thank you. Have a great day. That's it. That is the full model of a very simple customer service support chatbot. Now we're going to test it out. We're going to test it out and see what happens. And then we're going to start to make iterations if something goes wrong. This is what this is about. It's actually training yourself on how to use the tools, but also training the model, the machine learning algorithm. Okay, right. So let's go. So I'm just going to go to my slides. You can see where we're at. We're at about 10. We're going to look at disambiguations and things like that in a moment, and autocorrect. Okay, so they're all additional tools you can look at. Webhooks. We need to look at webhooks. There's a lot.
Now, do you want to get out of the Zoom then? The Zoom sharing, so we can see you on full screen.
Yeah, thank you. Just 1 second.
Thanks.
Okay, so you can see from my Prezzo that I'm just going through some of the other components of that you can use and build on. Webhooks are really important for connecting customers with external resources and also transferring to other services. It's important as well to look at the data behind the application and look at again the analytics and turn on all those features, those functionalities within IBM Watson. Okay, so we're going to look at that in a moment. But first, I want to test the chatbot. Okay, I want to go and test it out and book in for an appointment. Okay, so let's do that now. And we'll go on to look at webhooks in a moment. Okay. Again, there's a lot to think about there, but we can look at that and explore it later. Okay, so let's have a look then. Over to the platform again. I'm going to share my screen. Okay, let me just shrink that, and I'm going to go to share. And then I'm going to go to here, my IBM Watson platform. Let's go and have a go at trying it out, shall we? Remember the dialogue. It's important to know the dialogue flow. Make sure that when you're trying out your application that you clear and you manage context. Context is everything. We talked about context and variables in context in the weekly webinar and weekly Wednesday webinar. It's disambiguation again, and it's understanding variables that are based on a particular scenario. Okay, there are 2 context variables that are not clear. One of them is the time zone, and the other one is metadata associated with the user. Okay, so there's metadata that I need to look at here later on to resolve, and the time zone. And I'm going to just close that down for now. clear out my chatbot. I'm going to get started. Are you ready? So I'm going to go, okay, howdy. Brilliant. Now in your user interface, you're not going to see the intent. You'll just see the response. So this is just the back end of the test platform. Okay. How can I help you? ¿En qué te puedo ayudar? Okay. And then we're going to think, okay, well, I would like to book in my car for a service. You ready? Let's see what happens. Brilliant. So, okay, it's picked out the intents. We can change that slightly, so we can say book in service. If you get just short time, okay, book in for a service. Again, there's lots of ways you can express that. And it's picked out the key parts of that intent, those key phrases, the verbs, the nouns, and it's actually trying to marry up the questions that we've already built into the knowledge base to the platform, the NLP tool. Okay, so the first one was, okay, well, what day and time do you want to book in? And we put that in the translation in Spanish. And then we have, okay, great, let me book that in for you. Now, the thing is, if you start to train a model that's not ready, it will try to estimate the next best match in the question, in the intent. That doesn't quite work here. So I'm going to go back and I'm just going to clear that, and I'm going to start from the beginning, and I'm going to go, okay, I would like to book in my car for a service. Okay. And on what day and time would you like to do that? Okay. I'm going to say Monday, 23rd of October. Okay. At 5 p.m. I'm just going to put 5 p.m. See what happens. And it picks up that iteration, that particular intent. You could even put 5 p.m. Monday, 23rd of October. There we go. Different order. And it will start to, what it's doing is it's picking up the varieties in the entities, and it's noticing that it's not quite what you built into the intents, and it will start to then train that and recognize that. Okay, so when it confirms that it's picked out your entity, then you can start adding in your email address. Okay, so you can go to your email address and add your email address in. If you go to the intents, the email address is already built in. I think I just made one up. Okay, it was Joe Blogs at. So imagine it's Joe Blogs at mn.com. It's not picked that up because it's not got, I haven't put exactly that in the intents. It will train that. Okay, I'm going to put that into one of the intents. I'm going to search for the intents, so customer care. Okay, and we've got the one that we built in earlier. Okay, there we go. And it will start to then correct the intentions and build that model, and you can see it doing it. It's brilliant. Okay, that's it. So that's the kind of thing you should be training your model on. And you should, by the end of that conversation, get to a confirmation of a calendar booking. And then that should be connected to an external third-party tool, such as Zendesk, or even Google Calendar. And then your calendar invite will be sent to you. Okay. Now, that's the kind of thing that I've explored with chatbots.com. Okay, so there's other tools outside of IBM and Watson that you can have a look at. That allows you to build dialogue flows and workflows and integrate with Google Calendar. Okay, Zapier is very good at doing that. So they're the kind of things I want you to look at for the courses pre-learning. Okay, you have Zapier that connects up to Google Calendar. You have also Integromat, which connects to MailChimp. Okay. You can see the integrations here. So have a look at Zapier it's called, and how you integrate your chatbot workflow and your dialogues into Google Calendar. Right, okay, so let me just go back to my screen. I'm gonna just stop sharing. And I'm gonna just finish off with a couple of things that are important with regards to webhooks, okay? So here we go. We go back to where we were. The important thing is knowing where to turn on these functionalities, parts of these functionalities. So you need to know that a webhook is a mechanism that allows you to call out to an external program. Okay, we talked about one already. It's based on particular events in a dialogue. Okay, a webhook setup means that you need to specify the URL, the request URL for an external API. So you need to know the external API for for that particular service, so that it can invoke that then on the chatbot, and then the customer can be connected. Okay, And then from there, you would then be referred to that external URL, okay? In the dialog node. You need to make sure it's set up within the node. So that's something to explore in the course, and that's what we're going to have a look at. The next thing is the analytics overview of any new conversations that you have or any new intents, okay? Any new utterances that the customer enters in Watson, it needs to be trained on, but how do we manage that? How do we improve the dialogue? How do we improve the application and the machine learning power that it has? Well, what you need to do is go and have a look at those apps, okay? Just bear with me a second. One moment. Okay, sorry about that. We need to just go to back to the application, okay? So I'm just going to go down to Watson, to the service page, and I'm going to show you what I mean by the webhooks. So when you finish completing the chatbot, have a look at the webhooks, how you set those up, okay? You need the URL so that you can call the API from the service. You need to make sure as well that you are looking at disambiguation. Disambiguation is about whether or not you can clarify any utterances or terms that are entered by the customer, okay? So that the dialogue works and it delivers the customer service that is required. So it's a description of the purpose of each dialogue node, okay? And that's something you need to turn on, okay? So when there's disambiguation, the question will be, did you mean this or what did you mean? Okay, so you can define that here. And you can actually have a number of suggestions for disambiguations. And that's something that the nodes will need to be trained on. It will need to be set up for, okay? You have autocorrection, okay, which is, again, it fixes any spelling errors for you in your chatbot. Any utterances that are incorrectly spelt, okay, that happens. And then you have irrelevance detection. You can either keep it enhanced or keep existing, okay? Irrelevance, anything that is mentioned that is completely off topic or not related to service or banking or resetting a password, for example, yeah? All those tools that I used in my course. And then you have intent detection, understanding your customer's intent with more accuracy. So you need to make sure that you put all those on enhanced, okay? And then you have analytics, okay? And here is where it gets really powerful. You have very little at the moment because obviously we just started building our own. But if you start training your chatbot over many days and weeks, you have total number of conversations between a particular period, but based on entities and intents. You have the average message per conversation, the maximum number of conversations, and any understandings and the logs of any disambiguations. And that will be then used as a data set that you can then retrain the application on, okay? You have containment data, which is something that you can add on. I think that's actually part of another service. So containment metrics can be added here, and we can explore these in more depth later on. And you have what we call coverage data, okay? And then the graphics and dashboards are here to just map that out for you. Okay, so these are all really helpful tools to explore, and then conversations. This is the key thing. If you have, yeah,
sorry. We said 1 hour, I thought 45 minutes earlier, so I'm the bad cop to interrupt on time. Do you want to take questions?
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, I've come to the last part, and now it's just a case of using those skills that we developed here in other tools and exploring really and having a go. So yeah, I'm happy to take questions now. So just let me.
And you get out of the share also.
Yeah. There you go.
Okay. So I think we addressed the questions that were here.
Okay.
I'm just curious, people had questions about the course. I know you can go on, and this is like you're kind of getting into the next gear.
Yeah.
I remember chatting with you before as a prep for the class about to scope within the class. So can you tell us a little bit about the course on what you're going to do? I know we'll do an intro session.
Yes.
On Thursday, the first session, right?
Correct.
And then there's the lab. So do you want to walk people through so they can get a sense of time commitment, what they can do? this is not just about building another chatbot, and there's so much more. But what is realistic? Sometimes it feels like it's too time consuming, but I know it's not. So do you want to tell us a little bit? And people can speak up if you want. You have specific concerns or questions, or tell us what kind of things you're trying to build. We can take only 20 people max. And so I don't want to be rude, but we want only the right people in the class. That's why we gave the free webinar. We did this pre-class. So if you want to learn, you're in early stages, that's awesome. But talk to us, right? Sometimes doing projects and taking classes and building up will lead you to something. Sometimes you might be working on something and we can tell you if this is the right one or not.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's really important to define your use case, your business case, your background, and let us know if you have any questions on live chats on LinkedIn, so that we can look at that we can, when we can start our program, we can start to look at use cases. Okay, so the LiveLab is focusing on applications of NLP. Okay, so this is just again the link to the website, so you can go to businessschoolofai.teachable.com and you can have a look at the course curriculum. Okay, you've also got the offer.
I've given a chart URL. Let me give that.
Oh, brilliant. Yeah, that's me with my background a little bit there. And then you have the subscription link, so where you can actually request more information.
Here, this is the course sign up page, or you can ask for more information and see the syllabus. Yeah, and that bit.ly actually should translate to this. So
right, okay, that's probably yeah. Okay, no, that's great. Yeah, okay, so you've got that link there in chat, so have a look at that. I think what we decided was, sorry.
You also had sent something yesterday about this homework to do.
Yeah.
Is that the same as what you did here today, or is it different?
No, that's completely different. Yeah, so what I've done is I've prepared for you a watch now pre-learning video separate to this, which is actually very cleverly using a business case around reserving, again, from a calendar invite, reserving time from a company, reserving the time of a company for customer care. Okay, and I've actually built up a tool using Zapier and using Chatbot.com, and integrated that really seamlessly into my Google platform, my Google Office, the Office platform for Google.
So is that extra material, or do they have to prepare? Like, since the class is Thursday, do people have to do more homework before they come in?
No, I think that would be something that you can use as a guide to explore the setup of NLP tools. So it's a no-code, additional NLP no-code tool, and it's a video. It's about half an hour, 45 minutes. Yeah. And I explore integrations and how powerful integrations can be with these types of dialogues and these particular tools. And it's homework that you can do after the first day. You don't need to do it before Thursday. Okay, you can do it.
And it will not interrupt their learning. It's more extra material, right? We are going to keep giving extra material for those people who want more,
who want it. Yeah, and we've got a bank of cases, a bank of business cases where we can start to record the videos. And then send those to you as you sign up. So the first one, as I said, is really just how to set up other applications and integrations with NoCode NLP, and use cases that are linked directly to what we've just been doing. And then when you've done that as homework, which can be done next week, the week after, we have the foundation module, which is Thursday, and that is going to be looking at instructors, who we are and what our background, and just breaking out into teams and working across, making sure we have the right teams together, and that we have multidisciplinary teams, that we've got our strengths matched and our backgrounds as well, and which is a big thing we're focusing on. And I think then we're going to look at business cases. Okay, in the real world, we're looking at a range of business cases. If you were at Weekly Wednesday, you'll have had a taster of that. There's a lot more to explore. Okay, and then we're going to look at
Mamta wants to know how many modules or how many classes. This modules is also listed in the same page. This is the class page. Everything, the way we host here, is in the syllabus is there. Your go-to place for everything, where you sign up.
It's all here. Yeah, I mean, you've got a summary as well on that page of the program. Of the course. Yeah, and it's in here, so it should be listed inside. Yeah, it's listed in here. Yeah,
I think you need to go back because it's at the bottom of the page. It's all in the same page. Yeah.
Yeah, it's all in the same place. You have module 1, NLP Foundations, okay, where we look at NLU and NLP and real life, real world applications and the ecosystem within machine learning, because that's really key to understanding the concepts. And then you have the landscape, the NoCode NLP Tool Landscape. What we mean by that is the applications, not the real world business cases. So we're looking at both. And then any key terminology. That's the first unit. Module 2, LiveLab, is any hands-on module that's 90 minutes. So you can come to the 90 minutes LiveLab class and join us there. And then the others will be recorded for you. You can then catch up on later on if you can't meet all of them. So that's
people
that.
should absolutely be able to take this, right? This is starts on Thursday. That's day after the next actual LiveLab. So that's 1 hour. And then
1 hour.
The September 16th is 90 minutes LiveLab. So that is recommended to do in person. So if people are busy traveling, if they cannot do the September 16th, this cohort is not for you. Everything else you can skip, come back, do recording, watch the recording, and then we'll have office hours you can follow up.
Exactly. We're going to have tutorials, exactly one-to-ones if you want to talk to us and individually. But I think you need to be able to attend the module 2. It's an hour and a half. It's not, it's just, we're going to try and keep it under 2 hours, and we'll keep it short for you so that you can go away and start to really set up your LiveLab IBM Watson platform, test it out, understand the design problems, what we mean by translation and intents, and really start to build your own applications and use cases for your business. Okay, that's the second module. Last modules are module 3, a guest speaker that we're going to have in. We're going to have a masterclass speaker on NLP. And we have office hours then for that module. And then we have module 4. And then the final week will be your demos. You'll be pitching your demos and showing and sharing your demos to other students. So that, I think it's a brilliant program, and I think we've covered so many different bases that you'll come away with a certification and a really confident, I think, understanding and knowledge of the business cases, the use cases, as I said, the NLP tools that are available, and what we mean by metrics and analytics and disambiguation and confusion matrices, okay, and integrations, for example. Okay, so I hope that answers your questions to that.
So, great. Mamta, do you want to speak up?
The time. I did not see the time on the website. Like what time on Thursday?
It's 9 o'clock.
9, yeah.
Okay,
we should update that. Thank you. So
thank you. Yeah, that's a good point. It's it will be in the UK. It's 5 GMT, so it's 5 p.m. British summer time.
Yeah.
And then US it's 9 a.m. Yeah, so it's 8 hours difference to just.
And if somebody. Sorry. So if somebody has a specific project that you're working on, then you can talk to us. Otherwise, we would give you a recommendation. And this is going to be one of the questions I had from somebody else was NLP can be supervised and unsupervised learning. So when we say NLP, you're going to get a foundation of NLP, go through the whole flow, and build a virtual assistant. And then we'll give you a couple options, right? So they could pick from 1 or 2 use cases. It's not a canned use case that you just do it and then you finish it and then you don't know what you did, right? So it's all supervised learning. When we decide on the intent, that's what we're doing, supervised NLP.
And yeah, that's it. Yeah, we're looking at supervised learning tools, and obviously if you have experience of unsupervised learning applications, and what we would like is for you to bring your experience from that, and then you can then look at adapting and building your own your application and presenting it to the team. Your demo, you're building that demo in addition to potentially some of your experience, bring that in.
I want to add something to the student demo, but I see a question from Samyukta. She's saying, what is the anticipated time commitment per week to really benefit from this class? So it starts this Thursday, it's going to go till end of the month. So each week they could attend the class, but is there, and we said there's open office hours and stuff like that. What would you recommend would be the real anticipated time commitment?
Yeah, I would say for each module, so for each week, you'd need to be looking at maybe 2 to 3 hours of studying. You don't have to do it that particular week. You can spread it out, obviously, but as long as you're attending for module 2, I would suggest 2 or 3 hours invested, plus as well the homeworks that that we'll put it in as videos. You can catch up on the videos as well. So I would say 2 or 3 hours. would
So
be a good investment.
what I was saying is like, 6 hours total is kind of my estimate, because final week they're going to do a demo.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They can say, I don't want to do a demo. We would recommend they do a demo, right?
Yeah.
So that is one. They need to, so 1 hour on Thursday, they come and get the foundation piece, or they watch the recording.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And then they should do the IBM Watson setup with what you did today, or they can get help offline if they're stuck.
That's going to be, yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'll be offline. Yeah.
And then the actual 90 minutes lab is the real deal, right? Yep. After that, I found that because we have the recording available for the students for a whole year, they can come and learn at their own pace. So different teams, especially when they form teams, they would have communication across time zones or some other commitments. So they might take their own time. So you don't have to come back and say demo day is 29th. It's a forcing function, gives you an opportunity, and we can, you can finish it up. If you don't want, then you just say, okay, I come 1 hour on the first week, or watch the recording, 90 minutes next week. We would make it at least 2 hours given the setup and follow up what's needed, right? And then the guest speaker, we actually have a guest speaker from Just Answers, which is a NLP platform, one of my students, and he works at Cruise doing conversational AI. I'm not allowed to say that in recording because he's not coming as a Cruise speaker. He's fantastic experience from conversational AI. So he's going to come in as a guest speaker, but he's going to be part of Weekly Wednesday. So if you skip it, you can always get the recording. And then the analytics module is one, if that's an advanced level stuff, right? So somebody might choose not to go to the analytics thing, keep the recording, watch it when they get to it, right?
Exactly. So, no, agreed. I wouldn't go beyond, I'd say potentially 2 hours per, so 6 hours maximum.
6 hours.
And
if you're doing this to get the certificate, you will have to finish the whole thing. So I have people who come back and do it at a later time. And we are not just tracking you to watch all the recording. We want you to produce some output, and you get to define what that is, right? So if you take an easy case and that's all you want, that's fine. If you want to do something more complicated, we'll help you to make that happen, right? That's what we're thinking. So think of, if you can give the 2 hours in week 2, this would be a valuable course for you. And if you can give total of 6 hours in the month, or if you stretch it to 2 months, that's okay. That would be my recommendation, right? At least.
I think that's reasonable. And we can, as you said, we don't have to do it all at once. You've got recordings as well. If you want to catch up on module 4 and you don't want to necessarily do the demo day, you can catch that up later on. I just think that core module is important. Like we said, the 90-minute lab next week. Not this week, next week. And if you can make the first one, foundations, then brilliant. Come along to that first one. Give you a head start.
And all the classes are going to be at 9 a.m. PT, 18 hours CET.
Brilliant.
That's kind of usual time we do that. So this time we have a lot of other courses. So we have also a NoCode AI data science course, which focuses more on machine learning. And it's going to have the same IBM Watson setup. So I'm happy you were walking people through to do this. And then instead of the NLP route, we will go towards, inputting data to do ML. So this is good. So I think getting that hands-on, doing that as a lab together, and then making sure you do the follow-ups to make sure that you got your lab set up is important. I've had to walk people through their do a Zoom session one-on-one to say what went wrong. And then it turned out they were in a different country. They had a different flow of the IBM screen was very different. So things like that could happen. But also the recommendation is to try and do this with a team. If you have an existing project, talk to us. We'll tell you honestly, if this is a overkill or not. And we should wrap up unless somebody has any more questions. We've given the link. Good. And I'm happy to follow up and share this recording back with you guys. I know we tweeted it. And so I saw it's surreal. I see Sam everywhere in all my windows, talking on various windows. So it's streamed everywhere. So if you watch the stream on LinkedIn, you would get it. You don't even have to wait for me, but I'm going to take the Zoom recording, put it online and send a video email to anybody who's, expressed any interest.
Yeah, brilliant. Okay,
Yeah.
super.
Yeah. And the URL is right here. I think it's bit.ly/NLP, no, LiveLab NLP, bit.ly/LiveLab NLP. So talk to us, guys, because we want to close this. I know people need time to think till the last minute, so we have this $100 off. So the course will be at $399. And I've also set up a pricing plan that you can pay at $99 for 4 months. So that's another option if people are thinking about it. And then I have to say this all the time. I've never had a single student cancel my course except one person who accidentally signed up, not thinking that, that they were going to pay for the course. But 30 days, you can cancel the course. So you could finish this course in 30 days or cancel the course in 30 days. It's up to you. And I'm not going to track you down because we really want people and, we want to build successful students. And, it's fun for us to see what you go build. So talk to us. We've given you the link. And let me find, there is one more link. I think I've been posting that on emails, which is the MailChimp link. No, this is the one that comes from the, I think it's a MailChimp link that I made recently, which is about, I'm giving that because other than the course setup, you should be able to see the past webinar and all that stuff. So I'll email that, guys. I don't want to take your time. So if you just go to this link that is here, bit.ly/LiveLab NLP. That's the URL we've shared here. You should be able to sign up, see the syllabus, see the course modules. I'll go update the timing as 9 a.m. and talk to us, and hopefully you'll sign up and talk to us if you're serious, because I want to make sure how many people are coming so we can start thinking of the teams, multidisciplinary teams. I always like to have one PM in a team and one business person and somebody who's more data focused. With NLP, maybe we need different other kind of personalities to come together, right?
Absolutely, different sectors. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, absolutely. But it's a great idea having a project manager, someone with that experience, maybe a product manager and someone that's worked in marketing. And so we can look at that certainly. And I'm really looking forward to seeing you, and thank you for joining us. Okay. And let us know if you've got any questions, please do. Yeah. And we'll look forward to seeing you in the course.
Okay. Sounds good, guys. Okay. Here, I'm going to post the link again, and we will see you back online and talk to us. Okay. Thanks. Bye.
Take care. Bye. Bye.
Okay. Stop the record. I have to stop the recording in my. Okay. I hope I'm done with the recording in other places too. Yes. Okay.
Great.
Awesome. Okay. I'm so pleased everybody showed up with their questions. This was fantastic. You're amazing, Sam. You're so amazing. I've seen you do this so many times, but it's just so passionate. And
was it great? Was it helpful? And it gave you, an overview, and just shows, how much we can, how much potential there is in not just the tools, but the business cases and integration. So
No, you did so much. I was thinking you're just going to do a LiveLab, the IBM Watson setup.
Yeah. Oh, right. Yeah, I'm not looking. Yeah, because there's a few other resources that they can start to look at for the course. Additional applications that they should start exploring if they want to take the course and really do it. So I'm hoping that will help. So we walked through Watson, we looked at integrations briefly. So yeah, brilliant, excellent. I hope everyone's response is positive and they want to join us. For the next session.
Yes. Yeah. I have people. I think Mamta wanted to talk to me. Mamta is AI product manager.
Okay.
And she's been my student in the past, and I want to make sure that she's able to join us too. She was going to follow up. Okay.
Right.
It looks like my live stream is still going on. It's somewhere, so I'm going to stop. But maybe now that we are on air, I want to tell people how I found it. I feel so lucky that you're so amazing. Thank you so much, Sam. I feel so blessed that you chose to teach here. So thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you.